Welcome back. Today, I'm with Luke. Once again, if you guys remember him from when we did NBA, MLB content, now he's back for the NFL season. We will have our group content for the main Sunday slate, so if you're looking for JMO, you're looking for Nick, you're looking for Sexy, who's now back in the office, he will be back then for the Sunday slate videos and the Monday slate videos before Thursday for Friday games or for random Saturday games that we have going forward. It's going to be me and Luke here. If you wonder where you can find Luke, mainly on the Twitter side of things and the TikTok side of things. Do you have your own YouTube channel?
I do not. I don't post on YouTube, so just X and TikTok is fine.
So go check him out on X and TikTok. They will be linked down below if you want more of his content. But today we're going over both the Cowboys and Eagles game on Thursday night, as well as the Friday game between the Chargers and Kansas City, which is in a neutral site. And we have plays for all of it. We have lines for all of it. We have locks for all of it in the week one of the NFL season. Let us know in the comments down below what picks you guys have for this week, and let's hop straight into it. Starting with my favorite play. This one I really do like, and I think it's very in a similar path to a play you have, so we can kind of talk about it in conjunction here. Is I've Dak Prescott over 246.5 passing yards. Now, did I draft him in fantasy? Yes. Did I do? But I've been preaching Dak's praises for a long time now, all summer long. I think we're going to see here in week one. The script is an 8.5 point spread now. Obviously, that's post Micah Parsons trade. Before Micah Parsons trade, it was 7. I still think this game could be within 2 scores, but I don't think it's within 1 score. With that being said, I think the Cowboys are going to be behind in this game. I feel like they're going to lack a true rushing identity with Javonte Williams. They're going to have to rely on Dak Prescott. With that being said, it's just going to have to be Dak to throw the ball 50 times this ball game if they want to stay in this game. So yeah, I really like his over on passing yards. And I know you have his over on passing attempts, which is set at 36.5 right now. So talk me through that.
Yeah, I feel the same way that you do. I don't think they're going to have much of a rushing game, and I was super high on this passing offense in the offseason because they added George Pickens. Philly's defense is just insanely hard to target because they're good at literally everything. Like, they're such a fucking elite defense. And the way I wanted to play it was game script wise. Cowboys are 8.5 point dogs, and they should have to throw the ball if they want a chance to win. Also, Dak has historically played great against the Eagles. So
yeah, one play I added recently, I don't have a graphic for it, but I added recently was I think Dak could also go over 6.5 rushing yards. I added it recently because in the past when he's played Eagles, the past 2 times he's been healthy, fully healthy for these games. The past 2 seasons he's played in those, the 4 games total sample size, he's gone over this in all 4 games. Reason being is the Eagles have been, for the past 5 years, have had some of the best pass rushers in all of football, and the Cowboys notoriously have not been the best pass blockers, and hence why Dak has gotten hurt so much. But with that being said, I think Dak is going to have to scramble, especially in this game. Dallas's line is questionable going into the year. There are some question marks there, how solid they're going to be. But again, new offensive coordinator there, coming from the Colts, coming from the Cardinals as a O-line coach, should be pretty solid. But for the most part, I think Dak is still going to have to scramble a little bit here, and 6.5 rushing yards feels pretty good. Heading on to other plays for this game specifically, I have kind of an alternate to that. I have Saquon Barkley to go over.
I locked in 96.5 for his yards line last night. So if that's what if I locked it in for my UD slip, but not that.
Yeah, it's on BetMGM at 94.5. Okay. I like his rushing yards, but I messed up right-handed the big man. I made the graphic for rushing yards late last night, not thinking. I meant rushing attempts at 19.5. But I like both of them. I don't mind either of them. I think both of them are really good. Saquon Barkley rushing attempts, rushing yards, I think are both very solid in this game. Reason being, his rushing attempt line's only at 19.5. Whether they think this is going to be a blowout and he gets done early, the only way he missed this line last year was in blowout games or in very close games. So I think this is going to be a game where, again, the spread's 8.5. I think they win by 14. I think they win by maybe even 20 at the most. He's going to see a ton of work, a ton of easy carries. I understand they just got Kenny Clark, who definitely helps in the run comparison to Micah Parsons. But I think they're going to have all day to run the ball on this team. I think they're going to be able to control the clock, and I think they're going to want to kind of just use their defense as their backbone and try to get the ball out of Dak Prescott's hands as much as possible. How do you do that? By running the football and running some clock. I think Saquon Barkley is going to be a big focal point in this game. And with the Dallas defense, he could break a 70-yarder on the first 2 plays of the game, So
Yeah,
Really like that play.
How about the Cowboys fucking everyone over too, just by trading
Yeah.
probably going to change their whole scheme after they trade Micah Parsons because he's a legit game breaker. So yeah, their run defense should be a little bit better, but like realistically, how much is one guy going to change one of the worst run defenses in the NFL? Probably not a whole lot. No. And game script wise, it's perfect as well. So I love Saquon Barkley here too.
Yeah, and pairing with the Dak Prescott play earlier, I'm not going to go over it too much in depth, but I have CD over 6.5 receptions. If he's going to throw the ball 40 times, he's going to go to his number one target. I know people are like, oh, Quinyon Island. I don't think that applies to CD Lamb because CD Lamb plays out of the slot. Quinyon does not play out of the slot. So where we're getting this Quinyon Island shit from, like Quinyon will be on George Pickens probably the entire game. Cooper DeJean will be on CD, but I love Cooper DeJean as much as the next guy. I'm taking CD Lamb over Cooper DeJean, point blank period, unless they have a double shadow over him, which I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to bracket him either. I think he'll be able to get 6.5 receptions. Now, I do have some fun plays for this. I wanted to take some first touchdown shots. I have a first touchdown shot, and I do have an anytime touchdown shot. I don't have the anytime touchdown shot graphic, but that's fine. We can yap about it. My first touchdown play, though, and you can tell me if you don't like it, but it's Dallas Goedert first touchdown at plus 1,500. I know Dallas doesn't score much. I get it. He's a tight end and in the offense, probably going to be a touch push, whatever. If you had to guess who led the Eagles in red zone targets last season and red zone percentage, you would be not even close to Dallas Goedert. I promise you'd go A.J. Brown probably first, then you go Devontae Smith, and then maybe you'd think about Dallas Goedert. Realistically, you might even go Saquon over him. He was an afterthought in this offense last year, but he actually led in red zone target percentage. He was the most targeted out of any receiver or any receiving player on the Eagles in the red zone last year. And I feel like if they get in and they get close, they could easily play action and hit Dallas Goedert for a simple, easy touch on here. And we're getting great odds at 1,500. 15-1 odds for a first-time touchdown score. I know a lot of people are on the Pickens train. I don't really agree with that. I don't think the Dallas is going to score first, period. I think it's going to be the Eagles. And picking some long odds on the Eagles feels really good to get him as a first touchdown scorer. Let me get some thoughts on that.
I actually really like that. Like, Philly's defense is just so good. Dallas, I don't think will score first, really, because, like I said, their defense is just insane. And I will say, like, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley probably bake that in a lot in the red zone. Like, they are just scoring a ton of touchdowns. But also for plus 1,500, that's baked into the price. So if he throws one, there's a good shot it's going to Goddard, and I like that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just all about the price right now. When you can get a price like that at plus 1,500, like I'm locking that in every single day of the week. 15-1 odds feels amazing for the Eagles and Cowboys first touchdown score. All right, and we've yapped enough about the Eagles. We've yapped enough about the Cowboys. Let's make our final decisions. If you had to pick a side of the game, 8.5 is the spread. Which side are you taking?
I would probably take Dallas with the plus 8.5. Typically, some teams have a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover, which I might buy into a little bit with the Eagles. Also lost Landon Dickerson. We don't know how that's going to play out as well for an extended period of time. Dallas, like, I think they're going to be a little bit better. I know everyone's hating on them after the Micah Parsons trade, but I mean,
yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. I think they actually got like a decent return in terms of building for their future. But that's not going to help them win week 1, but I think they can't cover 8.5.
It's interesting. I was originally on that exact same thought process when I saw the line move, but the more and more I sit with it, I just don't see a way the Eagles don't win this in 10 points. I think that's the realistic. Like, if I were to take an exact line, I think they win by 10. I think they either win by 10 or 14 in this. It's just, I think what they're going to do is simply just chew clock. And it's going to end up being like a 10-point game, and Dallas just tries to do too much at the end. They throw an interception, and it's pretty much over. If I were to lean anything, I also like the under on this game. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be a gunslinging showdown. Like, I understand the thought process of Dak has to throw the ball, and I completely agree with you that Dak does have to throw the ball. That's why he took his yards. I think he's going to have to sling the rock. But do I think the Eagles are going to sling the rock in return? No. And that is why I think, like, if they can manage to hold the points from the Cowboys, red zone is where the Eagles thrived last year. If they can hold them to field goals, this game will be over before we know it. I'm taking the 8.5. I know it's not a popular pick, but I like both sides here. I'm not super sold on one side, so maybe in the comments you guys can tell me your guys' opinion as well, which side you guys are on, whether you're on with Luke or with me. But I'm taking Eagles minus 8.5 from minus 8.5 for minus 110. Now let's head to the game that is on a Friday in a neutral site. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Brazil. The Chargers
it's Brazil.
and Chiefs. This game, again, interdivision game. A lot of hype around the Chargers, but also a lot of question marks. Najee Harris should be playing in this game, and his odds would say so. I mean, almost all of the books have him as being like a normal line, which is absolutely insane. Like he has eyeballs. I still refuse to believe that his eyeballs are working, but we'll see when he comes out. I'm a big Omarion believer. I'm a big believer in this Chargers run game. So with that being said, I'm going to take Omarion Hampton over 48.5 rushing yards. I understand the Chiefs were the number 2 rushing defense last year. I understand that. I see that. But this Chargers offense made J.K. Dobbins look phenomenal. This Chargers, I understand also they lost Rashawn Slater. A lot of people are going to say that. But I don't think that's going to affect the running style, the running game, and the absolute, I guarantee you Omarion's going to see 11 plus attempts. And with how he runs the football, 50 yards feels like nothing. So I definitely think we're going to see him go over 48.5 rushing yards. I think Jim's going to want to establish the run early. I think the Chiefs can get a little bit beat up after a long time. I think a lot of their numbers also were skewed a lot last year. They didn't have the hardest strength of schedule. And in the beginning of the year, they got killed in the run game, if you remember the Ravens game and whatnot. So I really do think Omarion is going to see over 48.5 rushing yards here.
Yeah, I really like that as well. The Chiefs' run defense, although they were really good last year, I think they're due for some regression here as well. I think these are two very evenly matched teams. Like a lot of people a lot of people might think the Chiefs are just levels ahead of everyone, but if you watch them, you know that they don't fucking beat teams by a lot. Like it's close every single game, and if some of those start to swing a little bit, they could end up as like a 10-7 team rather than what 15 win team they were last year. So,
and Omarion has the explosiveness to break one. Like he's a young rookie, first round pick. Like he could break one. And we didn't see that last year because I mean we saw a few with JK, but like JK's JK with 19 injuries behind him. Now we have a young, fresh blood going against a Kansas City defense, which just off numbers basis, one of the oldest in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I think we could see a pop or two.
No, Omarion Hampton is so fucking good at football too. Like if you watch this dude at all in college, like he reminds me of a young Javonte Williams before the ACL tears. Najee Harris is really fucking annoying. Like I hope by like week 5 or 6 that they're just like, all right, we know who's the guy. Like we know who's way better here. Yeah. But for some reason, Jim Harbaugh just absolutely loves Najee Harris, even from his time at Michigan. But what I was going to say, Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, that's one of the most elite coaching duos for rushing running backs, like themselves. Greg Roman made fucking Gus Edwards look insane in Baltimore.
Yeah, which was nuts.
He's kind of like every running back he touches turns to gold, and Omarion Hampton is gold, so he's going to turn gold to diamond. So I like that as well.
Yeah, love that. Now you're leaning into more of the pass game here, taking Ladd McConkey over receptions, which I mean, hey, listen, I'm here for. Receiving yards, you took Ladd over. 70.5 receiving yards is the exact number. Minus 115 on BetMGM right now. Talk to me through it. Why do you love this line? Why do you love the passing game? And do you trust Justin Herbert now that he's dating Madison Beer? That's the big question.
He's even more goated for that. But the reason I like Ladd is if you look at him over the second half of last season, he was a completely different player. Like he was over in like 7 of his last 8 games. And that huge 200-yard performance against the Texans in the playoffs. The reason I like this is because to start the year, it's usually pretty tough because there's a lot of coordinators moving around and teams try new schemes, but Spags has been pretty consistent with what he is. He blitzes a ton and he plays a ton of man. That's just who he is. Ladd last year against man coverage had a 98% separation rate. Shout out Matt Harmon, reception perception.
Yep, shout out.
That was the best since rookie, or it was either rookie or prime Odell Beckham, but still, that's an insane number. Yeah, they're pretty much the same. Rookie, prime Odell is basically the same player, but yeah, Ladd McConkey, I just think rookies typically break out over the second half of seasons. And if you look at the second half of his last season, it was ridiculous. He was averaging almost 100 yards per game. I just think that's what he's going to be. I know the injury to Rashawn Slater is a bit concerning. I don't really think Keenan Allen is that good at football anymore, so I'm not worried about him. Trey Harris is more of a vertical threat, so I think against the Blintz, he won't be as effective. I still am high on him.
He hasn't been used that much. I mean, so far over preseason and in camps and everything we're seeing, like, Trey might not even be the number 2 guy in this offense, which is crazy.
Not yet. Maybe not. I know they really like that Lambert Smith kid as well. I don't know if he's going to end up playing.
They love him.
They love him. But I just think it's going to be Ladd.
I mean, yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I mean, I think Ladd is just like the clear one there, and then whoever's number 2 is like going to get sprinkled in. And especially like he's not going to get a McDuffie shadow. That's a big thing because he's playing in the slot, right?
Yeah.
So I think for him, this is the opportunity to have a big game. You look at last year when we started out with the Ravens last year with the Chiefs, like that was a high scoring game. That was way more than we expected. It was like a 27 to 20 some game with a ton of yards being thrown. I think that we could see something similar this game, and Ladd I think is definitely going to be a beneficiary there for the Chargers for sure. On the other side of things, we haven't talked much about the Chiefs, but I'm here to talk about the Chiefs. And I'm here to tell you the running back room fucking blows. And with that being said, I'm going to take Pacheco under 8.5 receiving yards. Reason why they brought in Brashard Smith this year. He is a very good receiving back, and I think they're going to use him in that sense. And I think they're going to use this running back room as more of a committee. I know people are saying, oh, Pacheco is back to the one. Pacheco's going to take back over. Pacheco can't catch the fucking ball. And I understand there's clips from camp and there's blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, he improved his hands. Bullshit. He hasn't been able to catch for years. And even in the college, like, why are we thinking all of a sudden he has like these hands from God that he's going to come out and catch 50 balls now? I just don't think so. He was averaging 1.5 targets per game last year when he was healthy. I don't see him catching a ton of passes. He'll maybe get 1 or 2 screens at the most, at the absolute most, with Brashard Smith there, with Kareem Hunt still in the mix. I think he's only going to get probably 1 screen opportunity. For him to go under 8.5 receiving yards feels like a really good spot for me. I don't think he's going to get that first down off that one play. So I'm just going to take the volume play here and take the under on Isaiah Pacheco receiving yards in this Kansas City offense.
Yeah, I love that as well. Pacheco was one of my least favorite picks in fantasy this year for that reason. Everyone, for some reason, just thinks he's going to be back to pre-injury form. And while that may be the case talent-wise, Andy Reid has always historically wanted a committee. Like, unless he has a set guy that's like by far levels ahead better of the next guy, he wants a committee. They re-signed Kareem Hunt for a reason. Brashard Smith was playing in the preseason. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why Pacheco, first of all, is being drafted so high. And then second of all, this is probably going to be a 50-40-10 split with the 3 guys. And Pacheco won't be in on third down. So I don't mind the receiving yards. I don't mind the under rushing plus receiving yards as well. I think those are both great picks.
Yeah, no, I think both of them are very solid. And we both are on the same page here. Those are it for our player props for this game. But we're both on the same page of Chargers covering the +3 here. I think this, to me, is a no-brainer. And I think to a lot of people, they're just like, oh, the Chiefs are going to Chief. Well, the Chiefs last year could barely cover this. They won games by 1. They won games by 2. And they won games by 3. At the minimum, I think we're getting a push here in a close divisional game. And I'm going to be honest, I think the Chargers could win just straight up. It's a neutral site. There's no home field advantage. The Chargers have one of the, and this doesn't get talked about either. We didn't even talk about this yet. The Chargers defense with Jim Harbaugh just plays hard as fuck, and they're insanely good. And they don't even have elite pieces on it. Like, they just play phenomenal. They played phenomenal last year as one of the best defenses in the entire league. They don't have these elite game breakers even on the team, and they're still playing at an elite level. I think the Chargers are going to be a really tough defense. I think it's going to be a gritty game. And I think 3 is like the perfect spread for this game. And I'm going to take the Chargers out of it. And I'm probably going to end up by game time taking the Chargers money line as well, just straight up.
Yeah, I like that too. I think these 2 teams are very similarly matched talent-wise. Like, the Chiefs pulled off some dark magic last year to not lose some of the games that they did. Neutral site, like we said, these games are always typically really slow and weird, so that could keep it close as well.
If you remember last year, I think the grass was super slippery in Brazil.
There's always some weird shit,
Eagles and Packers, and it was like because I think I remember exactly, like Dontavian Wicks was falling down every other play trying to catch a ball, so that could also be a factor here that I didn't even think about till right now, and I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, the Brazil games are always super weird. It's kind of like the London games. It's just like some whack shit's always happening in them. So I like the Chargers +3 as well. I think these teams are pretty much the same, and you get 3 points. So I like that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like we're on the same page here with damn near everything on the slate. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys are going to be betting on for these first 2 NFL games. And we're going to have the Sunday slate coming out on Saturdays. We're going to film that on Friday with all the boys, Sexy, me, and JMO. And again, we'll be back with Luke next week for our Thursday. I don't know if we have a Friday game next week or a Saturday game, but if we have one of them, we'll go over that as well. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, all sort of fun shit down below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.